Hello and welcome back to another episode of Diablo to D&D. My name is David, and today I'm doing my submission for Fey Week. Before I get into the video, I need to explain what Fey Week is. Fey Week is a week-long event set up and organized by Ginny D and Pointy Hat to bring the community together. It's people releasing videos and posts and commentary on a single monster type. We've done, I believe, Dragon Week, and I'm not entirely sure if it was any more than that. I think it was just last year was Dragon Week. But this year is Fey Week, so we will be talking about Fey, how to use them, where they come from, maybe player characters, NPCs, stat blocks, whatever. As long as it relates to Fey, you can post about it. It's not an invitation-only event. This is free for the community to talk about. So if you are capable of making content about Fey, go ahead and release it. I'll drop a link in the description that will take you to the Google form where you can see everything that Monster Week is about. So, let's talk Fey. Diablo is a world of darkness. It is a world where a lot of the hope is just not there. Where demons attack, villages are razed, and darkness exists as just a part of daily life. So when we talk Fey, we're not talking sparkly pixies, not even the trickster folk that steal your shoes or your left sock, or even turn your horses into sheep. We're talking dark Fey, malicious Fey. And Diablo doesn't have any of that. It's interesting. In Diablo 2, there's only 3 types of monsters. There is demon, there is beast, and there is undead. Now, granted, Diablo 2 is a very limited game, but in the Diablo 2 adaptation to Hell and Back, the D&D team made one monster type, one monster family into Fey, and those are the Fetish. But that's what I'm going to be talking about today, where they come from, what they are, how they operate, and give you some stat blocks that you can use at your own table right here and right now. Fetish are the kind of mob monster in Act 3. They're kind of like the Fallen in Act 1. They're very weak individually, but they kill by running up to you with daggers and standing back with blowpipes and dealing damage. And they kill by sheer numbers. They are short, cannibalistic, dangerous folk. And they are absolutely annoying to run into. Unless you have some decent AoE. One of my favorite ways to deal with them is with chain lightning as a lightning sorceress. Unfortunately, some of them are actually immune to lightning, so that sucks. But let's jump into their origins. So we don't know a ton. As far as I know, in all the research that I've done, there's not a lot of lore behind them. We know that they were created by some demon or some mad wizard from ages past as, quote, demonic voodoo dolls, which gave the fetish their name, but now they have propagated throughout the jungles of Kurost and attack travelers on their way. They are ambush predators, but they are a very cowardly lot. If you manage to kill one of their numbers, they will run away and regroup in an attempt to wear you down and take you down. Fetish are not always alone. They are almost always accompanied by a more powerful one named a Fetish Shaman. Fetish Shamans are always a high priority target. They are sometimes worth diving right into the pack, ignoring everybody else, and taking these shamans out first because they are so dangerous. They have 3 main abilities. They have a fireball that they can throw out, or firebolt, a small fire attack at range. They have a cone of flame that if you get too close, they will breathe on you and burn. But they also have the most annoying ability possible, resurrection. They can return a fetish that has died back to its full hit points to go back at you again. Now, fetish shamans are kind of funny to see. You can identify them, one, because they're hucking fireballs at you and, raising the dead, but you can identify them by their massive headdress and the fact that they are standing on top of the shoulders of another fetish. Fetish are very short, and so I think they believe that by climbing on top of another fetish, that somehow they can be more intimidating, which, I mean, in fairness, it probably is a little bit. But you should be able to quickly find out which one is causing the problems and go after them immediately. Now that the Diablo section's out of the way, let's talk about the D&D side of things. In the original D&D version, these fetishes are small Fey, they are ambushers, like I mentioned, they have improved initiative, which means that they are almost always going to get the drop on you. And so you can throw a mass of these at high-level players. Now, they are CR4. They start at CR4 and they go up to CR8. But I would not throw these at players of that level. I would wait till they are much higher and throw them at higher-level players. Treat them much like how you would treat a goblin, for example. They're not... individually they're weak, but they're not something that you throw out to challenge a low-level party. You throw them out to drain resources, essentially. Maybe throwing, 6 or 7 rat men and a rat man shaman and see how well a party of, level 8, maybe? Because, by that time they have fireball and things like that. So AoE is, something to consider at that point. Diablo has a system where the monster families, as you progress through the game, they simply get stronger. They don't learn new abilities, or they don't often learn new abilities. So the fetish that you see at challenge rating 4 is basically the same fetish that you'll see at CR8. This is not always true for all monster families, but for these ones, it absolutely is. Before I get into this, I do need to note that I am working with the 2014 edition, not the 2024 edition, so things are going to be a little different. It's my plan to eventually get to the 2024 edition, but I'm starting with the 2014. I started this before the 2024 edition came out. So let's just look through the Ratman stat block and see how things work. They have an AC of 16, which is pretty decent. 44 hit points, again, fairly decent. They have a speed of 40 feet, and that means that they can outrun most players. Now, your monks, your mobile people, those are definitely going to be able to catch up, but for most people, that's going to be far more than is possible to catch up to. Physically, they have 6 strength, they have a 15 dexterity, 14 constitution, so they are definitely something that is, you could entangle them and be perfectly fine, but they are definitely something that is light and speedy and just a little bit of tankiness, just a little. They're not very smart with an intelligence of 5, their wisdom is 10, so functional, and charisma of 9, so I would not waste banishment on these, but if you have some other mass charisma thing, go for it. For their skills, they are definitely a hunter. They have expertise in perception, they have expertise in stealth, and proficiency in survival. These are jungle hunters. They have 120-foot dark vision, so they can catch you in the middle of the night. And in fact, that is something that you could do, is have your players get attacked in the middle of the night by a bunch of creatures that they can't see. Passive perception of 14, like I said, perception of +4. Their languages is Fetish. This is a made-up language that I was just like, sure, why not? CR4, proficiency bonus +2. And now their traits. They have Ambusher, which gives them advantage on initiative rolls. This is kind of the improved initiative translation from the 3.0 that To Hell and Back is built in. In addition to that, they have Blowgun Hunter, and the Ratman ignores the loading properties of blowguns. This gives them the ability to attack multiple times. Now, technically, yes, you can make it more like a rogue where they have a single massive attack, do a little bit of damage, and then a ton of poison damage. But I figured these Ratmen are attacking quickly anyway, so it makes sense to me. For their actions, they've got multi-attack. They make 2 attacks with their blowguns or their daggers. They can attack with their daggers. Keep in mind, daggers are finesse weapons, and as such can be used with dexterity instead of strength. Their blowgun is +4 to hit, range of 25 to 100 feet, so fairly short range. 1 target. It's only 3 piercing damage, but it deals 3d4 poison damage. This gives them a pretty decent ability to do some serious damage, especially because they are attacking multiple times. Their dagger is pretty basic. It's just a dagger attack. There's no special abilities for that one. Now, the strangest thing is their bonus action. They have what I'm calling Join the Stack. If a Fetish Shaman is within 40 feet, the Ratman disengages and uses its movement to join the stack of Fetish under the Shaman. If there are no Fetishes under the Shaman yet, the Ratman lifts the Shaman onto its shoulders. While stacked this way, the Ratman cannot use actions or reactions and cannot move unless it's on the bottom. If the Ratman is damaged and not killed, it makes a strength saving throw with a DC of twice the number of Fetishes above it, including the Shaman. On a fail, or if a creature in the stack is killed, the entire stack falls, each creature landing in the nearest unoccupied space. So this is a very interesting ability. It can essentially create a modular battle. If you want to have a horde of enemies, you can have a single shaman and 6 or 7 ratmen running at the party. Or if you really need to, you can have them join the stack, and we'll see the stack on the Fetish Shamans later, but you can have them group together and become one creature to, focus fire, but the Shaman grants bonuses to the entire stack, bumps its damage, bumps its hit points, or not hit points, bumps its AC. And so you can have this wonderfully modular battle. So that is the base fetish. Those are the Ratmen. They are most often found at very low level stuff. So let's go to the Ratman Shaman. Like the Ratman, they are small Fey, they're chaotic evil, they have a higher AC with 18 rather than 16, they have more hit points, in part because these are a CR 8 creature. They are intended to be much more dangerous. And, they're going to be more dangerous because they can grant effects to fetishes that stack up under them. Most of the other stats are basically the same. They have a little higher charisma, a little more intelligence, but the physical stats are pretty much the same. For their traits, they also have Ambusher, but they also have Gathered Power. For each fetish in its stack, the Ratman Shaman gets a +2 bonus to hit with its spells. Its spell save DC increases by 2, and it adds an additional die to its spell's damage rolls. In addition, each creature in the stack gets +1 AC for each other creature in the stack. This means you're not hitting it with attacks. Now, you could do Area of Effect, and that's very, very powerful. But if you have a paladin that's coming in swinging, you stack on 4 or 5 of these things, and suddenly it's not getting hit. Now, like I said, its weakness is those Area of Effects. It is, if you force a creature to make a strength saving throw, suddenly the whole stack falls because, their strength is garbage. But the Shaman is intended to be this massive, kind of glass cannon-y sort of thing. A ton of damage. You're hitting with your spells. You're avoiding melee and ranged weapon attacks. I guess spell attacks as well. You're avoiding attacks, but that targeting of strength and targeting intelligence and charisma will really, really pull these things down. No pun intended. For spellcasting, the Ratman Shaman is an 8th level spellcaster. They use charisma. Now, it seems weird because they have a charisma of 11, but keep in mind that they get a +2 bonus to hit with their stacks. So with 1 Ratman, that's a +5 to hit. With 2, it's a +7. It scales very, very quickly. So this is definitely something you want to focus down. And it has a cantrip, Firebolt, at will, and it has a 2nd level Burning Hands. Higher level Fetish Shamans actually have a higher level Burning Hands. I think the highest one, the Stygian Doll Shaman, gets a 4th level Burning Hands at will. That's what they do. They breathe fire. I mean, Burning Hands is a little different, but I don't have access to Dragon's Breath, okay? Although I suppose I could just make it an ability, but for its actions, it does have a dagger. Technically, I think they have a quarterstaff, but meh. They also have Call Fetish. Each fetish within 40 feet of the Ratman Shaman uses Join the Stack on its next turn. Now, perhaps this could be changed. Keep in mind, all of this is subject to change, pending feedback and whatnot, feedback and testing. But perhaps this Call Fetish could trigger Join the Stack as a reaction rather than an action, and that would allow it, instead of forcing the fetish on its next turn to use Join the Stack. Because I kept running into, when I was testing this with my players, I kept running into this moment of Join the Stack. Everybody comes running in. You're losing an entire encounter's worth of turns. And then someone hits the bottom creature, it fails the saving throw, and they all fall down. And so it's just this pinata rather than an actual dangerous encounter. So maybe that could be changed to make them use Join the Stack on as a reaction. Anyway, now we get to the last ability, Raise Fetish. This is a recharge of 5 or 6. Again, as you scale up with difficulty, with challenge rating, that recharge gets bigger. The Ratman Shaman returns the corpse of a dead fetish, any fetish, not just Ratman. This could pick up fetishes or flayers, soul killers, or Stygian dolls. It just has to have the sub-creature type fetish. Although I probably should mention that it can't bring back shamans. Work in progress. This is all homebrew. So it brings the corpse of a dead fetish within 60 feet of it to life at full hit points, and it stands back up. If your party is struggling, if your table is struggling with hitting these creatures, this could be very, very dangerous, which is one of the reasons why it's a recharge of 5 or 6. But I have seen this put to very good use. Well, I have put this to very good use at my table. But again, my players are smart, and they focus fire the shaman. So maybe I should bump that up to 120 feet so that this fetish shaman can stand back a little further. Well, either way, I've had fun running these creatures, and I have spent quite some time tweaking these, making them more of a threat. Now, I don't want to push them too high, too powerful, but there are some rough edges that just need to be sanded down, like the Call Fetish, like the shortcomings of Join the Stack is largely the main problem. Granted, all of this is homebrew, all of this is coming out of my own head, based on the work that came from To Hell and Back, of course. But if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. Now, before I close this video out, I do need to mention the last 3 stat blocks in this file. The Undead Flayer, the Undead Soul Killer, and the Undead Stygian Doll. These are not created yet, but they will be. And I'm not talking about them in detail because they are undead rather than Fey. These are nasty little buggers. They are melee only. Don't have lungs for blowpipes and whatnot. But they're melee only, and you can find them in Act 3 in the Durance of Hate as they run up to you and explode when they die. Many a hardcore character has been absolutely wiped by slamming an AoE in melee with a bunch of these in melee range and suddenly they explode, and that's game over, and your hero will be remembered. So I'm looking forward to making these last 3, but for right now, it's not happening, but it will. All right, that is it for me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my submission to Fey Week, and I hope you enjoy running these at your own tables. I do all of this by myself. I am working on adapting all of Diablo, starting with Diablo 2, into Dungeons & Dragons. So if you want more of this content, you can find the files down below. I've got monsters, I've got items, I've got player options, classes and subclasses. A lot of this has been built already. I am working on the Warlock that was just released, and you can find my other videos, of course, on my channel. And I go through all of this for free down below in the links. You can contact me at XenozFan2, that is XenozFan2 on Blue Sky and Reddit. And you can contact the channel directly at Diablo TOD&D on Blue Sky and YouTube. Thank you much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good whatever.